Okay, so thank you for all coming to my TED Talk. I know you had to, but that's okay. Today we're talking about deforestation affecting the animals in Honduras. So my research question was, what are the causes of high numbers of endangered species in Honduras, and what would be the most effective conservation act to save the biodiversity, once again, in Honduras? To start everyone off, I want you to close your eyes and imagine the cutest little raccoon sitting in the cute little tree. He's so happy. Kyle, you're gonna like this one. And you probably imagine something like this.
Aww.
It's very cute, and it's very happy. Unfortunately, right now in Honduras, it actually looks like this. This is what we have caused. Look at how sad he is. He's so sad. Now, imagine you're out with your family, and you're just hopping around in the trees like the little raccoon you are, and this is the last emotion you feel because they are cutting down all your homes, all your houses, everything is being chopped away. And now you live alone because all your family is dead. Now, Honduras is extremely diverse, harboring 5 different ecosystems, including jungles, forests, oceans, wetlands, and coral reefs. All of these different ecosystems and biomes in Honduras harbor and create homes for thousands of different species. So that makes Honduras probably top 5 of the most biodiverse. Right now, in 2024, there are 292 species that are considered red listed and endangered. 90 fish species, 70 amphibians, 60 reptiles, 38 invertebrates, 24 birds, and 10 different mammals. And this is why. Urbanization. Right now, urbanization in Honduras looks just like deforestation. Over 50% of animals going extinct in Honduras is due to deforestation. Deforestation takes the habitats of thousands of animals every single year. Between 2001 and 2023, Honduras lost 34,385 hectares of trees per year. That is the equivalent of 84,967 acres. That is housing for, once again, hundreds of different species. And how are they supposed to live and thrive in these environments where they have nowhere to live? This was Honduras in 1978. Right now, this was in 2012. This was that same jungle. Between January and August of 2018, this graph shows all the pink areas is where deforestation was occurring. So in 2018, it was just about around the edges, you know. Now, just a year later in 2019, it almost doubled in size. I'll go back so you can sort of see the comparison there. But there was a major increase in deforestation just in Honduras. This section right here is the Rio Planto biosphere, which is actually 350,000 acres of protected lands that are completely unharmed that I'll actually talk about later. But so currently there's only 26% of all original forests left in Honduras. So we only have 26% left. Globally, 90% of all deforestation is due to agriculture. So around the whole world, 90% of all of the forests have been, or 90% of all forests that are gone are because of agriculture. So things like large coffee plantations, small local farming, human population, the spread of human population, and the population housing. So these large coffee plantations actually take up thousands and thousands of acres in Honduras. So that is the biggest reason for deforestation in Honduras, is those large coffee plantations. Fun fact, you can actually see deforestation from space. In 1978, once again, this was Earth. Focus right here on this continent where it's very, very green. Now, that's the same continent in 2012. See the comparison of how green each of it changed. That was actually really interesting to me to see how that changed. Now, in this chart right here, the purple indicates all of the loss between 2001 and 2018. You can't really see it as much, but it's more in this lower column down here. And then the pink indicates the loss between 2019 and 2021. it is extremely large. There was a lot of damage due to deforestation. And once again, this is the Rio Planto biosphere that is continued to be protected. The result of no animals in trees comes down to basically the nitrogen cycle. We learned about it in 3rd grade. And it continues to impact the way that Honduras lives daily. So animals live in trees. Trees give habitat, trees give homes to these animals. And trees need animals for fertilizer and oxygen and to just create a healthy cycle. Oh, and also pollination. Plants can't live without animals for pollination. Now, the lasting effects of deforestation include the loss of habitat. Obviously, we talked about that. Wildfires, as there is a change in natural resistance. So most forests and jungles already have natural resistance towards wildfires, and without the trees and without the jungles, there is no resistance towards that. Increase in greenhouse gases, as there is no filtration for the oxygen. The disruption in the water cycle because of runoff changes and temp changes that occur when there are no trees. A drought and increase in rainfall, or drought because increase and decrease in rainfall occurs when, once again, the water cycle becomes disrupted. And then lastly, flooding due to lack of absorption because plants and animals need the water, and if nothing needs the water, then it has nowhere to go. So let's get into solutions on what we can do to make a change. So the biggest thing that is going to be a lot harder to obtain is deforestation laws. A good example of this would be Brazil currently has a forest law that requires all landowners to maintain a certain percent of all natural foliage and all original vegetation. And so that has stopped a lot of just public spreading as it saves the agriculture around, and you're supposed to say that, so it's a law. Another thing is community members will pitch in to buy parts of land themselves and leave it untouched. I was reading some stories about it where, especially this was a good example of it, where community members pitch to purchase a large lot of land where they can leave it to be unharmed and to thrive naturally. Here's where we can get to the Rio Planto Biosphere Reserve. This is 2,030 square miles of just untouched, left alone. Thousands and thousands of animals live here, completely unbothered. This is also a really good place where conservation has been occurring for the reproduction of more animals in order to repopulate the species. And then a smaller solution for these smaller communities, especially in Honduras, is going to be educating. So allowing classes, policy advocacy, and teaching sustainable forestry, because it really teaches generations the implications of their consequences and how they can help their future generations grow and live, and have an environment where they can hear about these animals and learn about these animals, but also just living in a place where they have higher water quality, better air quality, and just sort of that thing. And then the biggest solution is just going to be conservation in general. I think this encompasses all of our solutions as one, but currently in Honduras right now, conservation is occurring in many ways, like establishing protected areas, so creating national parks and creating national lands, and that is also something that has to go through the government, but it all starts to come together. Community-based forestry, so repopulating the trees and repopulating the animals of the forests and the jungles, and then, once again, just planting trees. And reforestry. The current update right now in Honduras, this is just a couple examples of a lot of the animals that have been saved due to the conservation acts of the reforestation, including the anteater, the Honduran emerald, the spike tree frog, ocelots, spider monkeys, pumas, pale-faced bat, peccaries, and the scarlet macaws. Though their species is still looking fairly small, it is thriving a lot more than it was 20 years ago. And that's it. Thank you. What was the time on that, Kyle?
Little shorter time.
9:40.
Oh, shit.